What's going on, YouTubers? This is just a random off-the-cuff video. This is a follow-up video that I've gotten so many hits on, and I've gotten a lot of positive and I've got a lot of negative reviews on single women in their 40s and 50s. And for some reason, it hits a nerve with a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people that like it, a lot of people that agree, but there's also a lot of people that think that I'm in the wrong for even speaking my mind, right? And that's what I want to ask you guys. I'll leave a link in the description below of that video. Many of you have already seen it. You may not have an opinion on it. You may have an afterthought and change your mind. You maybe are not sure or maybe you just don't want to get into that arena, and that's cool. But those who know me, you know that I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy, nice fella. I don't mean to insult anyone. It's not like I'm directly calling out Sally or Sue or Beth or Brittany or Jessica or Samantha. I'm not calling anybody out indirectly. I think what happens is people hear this video that I did, right? And they stop and they're like, oh my God, he's so freaking annoying. He's a male chauvinist. You know, he thinks he knows it all. Oh my God. But really, in reality, they know I'm talking about them, right? Without calling them out specifically, directly, individually, they know that I'm talking about them. And they don't like that. They don't like the fact that somebody's calling out a person like them, whoever they are out there. If you're watching this and you're like, you're not talking about me, I don't act that way, oh my God. But in reality, I'm striking a chord. Because if not, some of them wouldn't be so pissed off out there or like upset that I made a video. And I had one commenter who recently did, and they were respectful. They were not rude or anything like that. They just said, hey, if you're married, should you really be commenting on the subject? You should go back to your wife or whatever. And I don't know what that means, if they think I was separated. I'm still married. I've been married. I'm not perfect by any stretch of imagination. But I watch, I observe, I listen to a lot of people out there who tell me their thoughts, right? And by me being observant, I'm gonna have an opinion. By me being observant and listening to others that have gone through this, of course I'm gonna have an opinion. I'm gonna be like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be so picky. Maybe you should have made a better decision. Maybe you shouldn't have waited so long. Maybe you're going about it the wrong way. And I think just because I'm not single doesn't mean that I don't have an opinion or I don't have a valid point. Just because someone doesn't own a firearm or shoot firearms, does that mean that they don't have a valid point or can have an opinion about a subject that they don't? Just because you're not involved in whatever particular sport or religion, or maybe you're not gay or lesbian, or you're not an artist, or you're not a fashion designer, doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion on the subject at hand. How many politicians out there constantly talk about firearms and have no idea what the different calibers are, have no idea what the magazine capacities are, don't even say the right caliber for the right firearm, talk out their ass that we should do this, we should do that, there are many laws, and they speak on things that they have no idea, no clue about. So I ask, why can't I have an opinion on that subject? I can. I mean, there's nobody's stopping me. But I just want people to think about that, thinking, this guy might have a point. I don't agree with him, or I don't like the way he said it. But he has a valid point. There are some people out there like that. Not everybody, but there are some people out there that think that way, that have this high standard of they want this, and this, and yet they don't look in the mirror and say, well, do I have those things? Do I meet that criteria? You know? Or maybe they did meet that criteria and now they're not so hot, but they still want that high standard. And it's like, you don't get to pick off the top shelf anymore. You're on the middle shelf or the low shelf. And the thing is like, again, I've talked to many single women in the office place or just people in general, and they tell me I can't find a good guy, or this guy doesn't meet my standard. And I look at them and I'm thinking, you're not so hot yourself, or maybe you are hot, but you got a lot of issues in here and in here. So how do you want to expect to find a nice guy when you can't even deal with those issues and fix them? Because maybe Mr. Ugly Duckly doesn't meet your standards, right? They don't meet your standards, but you don't meet their standards either. Just because you're hot on one end doesn't mean you're hot up here in the brains. So, my point is, just keep your options open. I'm not saying give up and just take Mr. Loser at the bar and say, come on home with me, because I guess I ain't nobody. I'm saying be open-minded and just know that whatever standards you have, those things change over time. Beauty fades. And you may be hot. You may have a high-paying salary. You may have everything going for you, and just like that, your life has changed. You can't expect to have those same qualities or those same options when your life changes. No, I'm not single, but I don't think I'd want to be in this day and age. And that's why I'm married. And I can stay married and keep my marriage, because I'm not a fool, and I try to use a little bit of common sense. So that's all I'm saying. Anyway, for everyone that's left a decent comment, I hear you. I'm listening. I have no issues with people leaving responses. It's those that have a little hot-tempered and want to go off the cuff and just vent, and like, you don't even know me. Like, you're not even listening to what I'm saying. But those are the ones that video is directed at, because they refuse to change. They refuse to see the other side. They just see their point of view, and they want top premium shelf people out there. And it's like, you're never going to find them with that attitude and the way that your mind is set. You're always going to end up finding that loser, even though he may be hot looking. Like, why can't I find a decent guy who doesn't live at home with his mom, who has a job, who's considerate and nice and thoughtful? Maybe you should look in the mirror. All right, guys, not trying to be ugly. God bless you all, the good, the bad, and the ugly out there. And you can leave a comment. It's okay, but you don't have to be rude about it. Just say, hey, I disagree with you. Here's why, X, Y, and Z. You don't have to say blankety blankety blank and you, who the hell are you, and blah 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 blah. We can have a conversation and we can agree to disagree. It's okay. Have a nice day, guys.